Hi, I'm Nicholas.
And I'm Lindsay Mead.
And you're listening to
Two Bad Pagans.
In this podcast, Lindsay shows me up.
Yuppers, I was super witchy this past month, and it led to some funny situations.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
And we hope you enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone!
Hello!
I said hello first.
You did, and you got super awkward about it. You're like, it wasn't normal.
Oh, well. What can you do?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Nick.
Hello, Lindsay. How are you today?
Hi, listeners.
Hello, listeners.
Let's not ignore the listeners in the room.
They're very important.
They are. They're the most important things to this podcast.
Right.
Otherwise, it would just be you and me talking and recording it.
Which,
It'd be
I
kind of
guess.
weird. People listen. That makes it legitimate.
Yes,
that
right.
makes it okay.
This is true.
So, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to one of our listeners.
Yes.
Her name, I think, is pronounced Cara. C-A-R-A.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that's Cara.
Okay.
I know she's an avid listener because every now and then she tweets me, and I love her tweets talking about the podcast and stuff.
Aww.
And recently she sent me a tweet and she said, I feel like you and Nicholas should get leather jackets and take a pic by a jukebox like the Fonz for a podcast promo image. And then she's got like a sunglass meme.
Nice.
Yeah, and that made me laugh so hard. I told Nick about it a few minutes ago, and I'm like, I need to give her a shout out.
Yes. So
thank
shout
you.
outs.
Yeah. Cara.
Woohoo.
And which, I'm like, Cara, it makes me think of Supergirl because Supergirl's name is Cara. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Random nerd stuff there. And I'm
Woohoo.
like, I love Supergirl.
So thanks, Cara.
Yeah. So I really appreciate getting those tweets. So
Yes.
keep sending them,
Keep
Cara,
sending
and anybody
them.
else who wants to send them. But that was a funny thing because we just said we were two bad pagans. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we need to be like the Fonts about it.
Right.
Two bad pagans.
Oh, yeah. That's
Nick
all I
doesn't know
got.
how to be cool.
I tried once and
It didn't work out
it
for
didn't
him.
work out. The Kohl's brand Aeropostale just didn't quite fit right.
Yeah. But I was kind of the same way too. We were too dirt poor for that shit.
Right? It's like, oh, we'll go off
We
brand.
bought our clothes from Goodwill before it was cool to shop at thrift stores.
Okay, Macklemore or whatever.
Yeah, that's who did the song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got the reference.
You should be proud of me.
Nick tries to be cool and it's just awkward.
It just falls right flat.
Before we get started, lots of stuff before we get started. We're just officially started, Lindsay. Just accepted.
Yes.
I lost a ring. Keep an eye out for my ring, will ya?
Okay.
Everybody who's listening, watch out for my ring. I dropped it somewhere. Don't worry
Where'd
about
it go?
We'll find it. It's got to be around here somewhere.
This is super interesting.
I know. So, Nick and I both have a cough. I think we're suffering from allergies today.
Yes.
So we're going to try and cut out most of our coughs, but if one slips through, we apologize.
Yes. And if, I can't laugh as much as I usually do just because it makes me cough.
It makes him cough, which
So.
makes laughing awkward.
Yes. Anyway, so we're laughing and having a good time. We're just trying not to
Try not to cough all over
trying
you
not
guys.
to be like attacking your ears.
Yes.
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 That's
Have you seen
nothing
those
worse.
videos where people will do those weird things in ear? I didn't know how to describe it.
Outside of context, that sounds really awkward.
Well, I don't know what it's. So there's a certain word for it. I saw it on YouTube, and apparently you're supposed to wear headphones, and then people talk really quietly, like they whisper in. You saw it too?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Did I send it to you? Oh, okay then.
People whisper into the microphone.
Yeah, and somehow that's supposed to be like either very sexual or
Oh, I can see it.
soothing.
Mhm.
I don't know. All I would do is just listen to the fact like their lips smacking and their tongue smacking. It would probably drive me crazy.
And then sometimes they'll have like a canvas that they like pretend to paint on, and you just hear the
brushing
bristles.
sounds, yeah.
Yeah.
And like they have these microphones that are shaped like ears, and then like they'll take like a
Super.
feather and run it over the ear-shaped microphone
Super weird.
while you're wearing your headphones. You're supposed to listen to that.
Not that it's weird. It's just like
No, it's totally weird.
I was trying not to offend anyone. And Lizzie's just like, yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, if that's if it really relaxes you, that's cool. If it's your fetish,
That's awesome.
whatever.
But
That's your thing. I get messages from people who want me to see me crack my knuckles and stuff.
yeah.
People have their thing.
Hey, when are you going to do another video like that?
Never, ever again.
No.
So do you want to talk about your life and what's going on with you and your big news and all that stuff?
Big news? What big news?
Your car.
Oh, yeah. I got a car, guys.
Big news, Lindsay. What are you talking about? You got a car.
I
That's
did.
exciting.
I haven't had a car in 2.5 years.
Mm.
Just been walking around, which has been super tiring on my feet and my legs.
Around here, that would be difficult because it's not like it's a very...
It's not flat.
Oh, yes, it's not flat. It's not very well spaced out. You got to walk forever just to get to one store, and they're...
Yeah. And so, like...
It's not like living in New York where you can walk blocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and public transit's not great because it's a small city, but, you know. So, anyway, I got a car, which is super interesting and different for me.
Yeah, that's good.
I think so. And it's mostly weird just because there was some stuff going on with my car, so I got rid of it. And I used that extra income I was spending on my car to pay off like college debt and some other debts and things like that. So I've been kind of used to like just having money, not like excess money, just having a little bit of like cushion there on the bank account.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting used to this different expense again. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like I was talking to a coworker today and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm so anxious. I'm just really stressed out right now.
Worrying about money sucks.
Oh, it's the
and it
worst.
seems like it's such a dumb thing to worry about, too.
Yeah. I know it'll be fine. Everything will be okay. But it's just, you know, life changing. So.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
you know, for the good.
Definitely. I mean, like, I had pop bottles or soda cans or whatever part of the world you can probably translate that into whatever your local, you know, phrase for those things. We recycle them in Michigan. So, like, you take them back to the store to get your 10 cents or whatever. So, I had, like, bags of those just sitting around from probably, like, a year. And I finally took those back because I could, you know, drive and return them. So, you know, it's just like, and I've got piles of shit that needs to go to Goodwill that I'm going to be able to take back now.
And that'll make it easier for you, for sure.
Yeah. Like, it's just a lot of stuff like that, you know, just trapped in my apartment with my things. So now I can,
Now
like...
you get to declutter.
I can.
Yay.
Yay. And I could come see you.
Yeah. No, probably not.
Okay.
Not right now.
No.
Maybe after we move, you can come see the new property.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. You'd
would
like
be.
it.
We could podcast in nature.
We could. One New World Witchery, one of their podcasts recently, they did it outside.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of cool because you could hear the birds and stuff. And I don't know if
Aw.
our microphone would pick that up, but
Probably.
you could really hear birds and stuff singing, and it was very cool. Which is kind
Sounds
of
really cool.
nice ambiance to it.
I like ambiance. Beyonce? I don't know.
Nobody likes puns. Or
I
whatever
do.
the hell that was. Wordplay. I don't know.
I do. For that for that one listener out there, that pun was for you.
Ugh, ugh. I hate them. I hate them all.
Just because your dad makes puns.
No, all the time. He just doesn't stop. It's not funny.
Yeah.
It's never funny.
Anyway.
Unless I make them.
And then it's the best.
Because it's so rare. So if I actually think
This
it's
is-
worth saying.
This is true. The elusive Lindsay pun is kind of like a spectacle to behold.
And it's like, it's not on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of, like, I realize it as I'm saying it, so I go for it.
Yeah, all in. Whereas I go for more of the subtle approach, and Lindsay's just like, no.
I've been telling Dad lately when he doesn't like, know your audience. It's not funny here.
Anywho, so got the car, got some new stresses, but that'll work itself out.
It'll be okay.
It'll be okay. Life will be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really the important part is to make sure you keep your brain in check
Mm-hmm.
and keep your thoughts in check.
Oh yeah, because I'm prone to anxiety about such things, and I'm like, I just need to chill and because like focusing on it, like we talked about last week, focusing on it just gives it that much more power.
Mm-hmm.
So just focus on what you can control and what you can do, and then I won't be as liable to spend money because I'm stressed
Yeah.
and can't spend money. So
I think, like, yes, because I've been worrying about money lately, too. So I've been trying not to spend money. And then, I think I must have focused on spending money too much because then I went and spent a lot of money today at the grocery store. All on stuff I think I need, but it was still a lot of money.
Still, I did the same yesterday at the grocery store. I was like, oh, it's my first time getting out to the grocery store by myself in probably like 6 months or so. Because I used to, like, I can walk during the summertime to the nice grocery store on the other side of town, but during the winter I don't like to do that because I have to cross like major roads and things. That's just not good to do when there's ice. So I haven't been there by myself in a while, and I was like, oh yeah, I need this and I need this and I need a, you know, like scent thing for my new car because, you know. Oh,
speaking of scent things for your car,
yes,
when I was at the grocery store today, I was looking for cod liver oil pills to take for my teeth, and then I discovered, I guess it was essential oils. I'm not really sure. There's like this like little like display thing next to that area, and it said that like, you could buy their essential oils and like plug them into car air fresheners or something, and it puts this nice smell into the air.
Weird.
But I just thought that was, I've heard of that concept before, but never done with essential oils, and I thought that was kind of a neat idea.
I like it.
I'd much rather have that kind of aromatherapy than artificial aromatherapy.
Right? And I agree. I was just like, I need something now. So how's your life doing?
Good. I've been very pagan-y this month.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think it has to do with changing our intro so that we're badass and not just bad at what we do.
Right.
Because all of a sudden I'm like doing stuff now that I wasn't doing before.
That's awesome.
And it wasn't like I made a point mentally like, okay, this month I'm going to be better. Because in the past I've done that and then not done anything with it.
Yeah.
But this month I just did it.
That's great.
And then I did one and then I did another and it was a witchy month for me. It was pretty great.
That's awesome.
And when I was at the grocery store today, I bought a whole bunch of, it's witchy stuff really. I told you I bought the cod liver oil pills.
Yes.
And then I bought tea tree oil, argan oil, I think that's how you pronounce it, ARGAN, argan oil.
Yeah.
And then rose hip oil.
Oh.
And then some bio oil.
Nice.
Yeah. So the rose hip oil and the argan oil are organic, and I'm going to use them for my hair and stuff. But
nice.
Holistic healing. I got the tea tree oil for my acne. I started using that for that instead of using the chemical medical stuff that you can buy.
Yeah.
Which hasn't been doing very well for me, so I switched to tea tree oil, and that seems to be, at least be kind of holding the acne at bay a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't totally cleared up, but it's just not getting worse. So.
Nice.
And it feels so much better putting it on, and it just makes me feel good because I'm not doing something that I know that's bad for me. You know what I mean?
That's great.
And hopefully it has other benefits. Like I'm kind of like secretly hoping that tea tree oil is anti-aging too. Yay, benefits! Yay! I have no idea if it is. I just like that.
Speaking of essential oils, I did pick up a aromatherapy diffuser that you can put essential oils in, and I've been putting some minty.
Do you remember when diffusers were really big?
Oh yeah.
Like it was like the huge thing to buy for everybody. Every teenage girl got one for their birthday or something.
Oh yeah.
I never really got it. As an adult, though, like you said, using essential oils makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and like I don't know, it's just nice to walk into the apartment and everything smells fresh and minty.
I agree.
So
scent is super important to people. It just changes your entire mood.
It does, and for me, I love the smell of incense and that like smoky, side of aromatherapy, but like with my cough, I just can't burn incense because it just sets my throat.
Oh, that sucks.
So I haven't burned incense for a while. But the aromatherapy's been nice because I've been able to just, let the house smell like mint,
That's nice. That's a really good idea. Maybe I'll try something like that.
Yeah, it was nice.
I've been doing incense.
Yeah.
And I like the incense because a lot of my incenses all seem to smell the same to me. And a lot of them have this kind of bonfire-y smell. It makes me think of autumn. Yeah. And wintertime, and raises my mood and my spirit because I love that time of year.
Me too.
If we could skip summer and go right from spring to fall and winter, I'd be super happy.
Me too.
I know everybody else would be miserable, but I'd be happy.
I know summer is the worst to me.
I hate the summer.
I can't stand it. But do you remember when you didn't even like incense? Like you were like incense, meh.
Yeah, I didn't like it
at all. And then I was like, hey, check out this incense tower. And you were like...
It was just the tower that I liked, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I don't notice that much of a difference in smell when it comes to a lot of incenses. So I don't like a lot of... they either smell like autumn, which is good, or they have this, like, almost lavender type smell, which I really hate the smell of lavender.
Yeah.
And that smell makes me think of bad places. I don't know how to word it.
Yeah.
Like when you go to you hook up with some friends, and like, hey, we heard about this party, and you go to this party, and it's got like a lot of like people who do drugs and drink a lot and don't live the best. I'm trying to word this without really offending anybody.
I know.
But when you're there, you're like, okay, I'll drink and have a great time, but you're also very much aware that this is a kind of a negative atmosphere to be in.
Yeah. Prone to making bad choices.
Right. These types of houses, I think they burn incense to mask the smell of their pot and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, and they use really crappy generic incenses. Yeah. So a lot of them just smell, I smell it and I'm like, that smells like that one party I went to that one time. You know? I remember that time in my life. That was a couple of years. They're just blurry now.
I know. I have a couple of family members that are like, are you smoking pot? Because you burn a lot of incense. And I'm like, what are you saying? I don't know which stereotype I'm like more concerned about here.
Yeah.
I just like incense. Be like, sure. I just don't. Anyway,
I don't know where I'm going with that.
I don't know. I just think it's funny that my family's like, oh, you must be smoking the pot. I mean, sometimes I'll do like sage burning in my house, and it smells akin. Like, if you don't know what pot smells like, it smells akin to pot.
I've had people say that to me, and I'm like, you've never smelled pot before,
right? And so I'm like, I can see where you might think this is a weird smell, but no, I was just trying to cleanse the apartment, you know.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Speaking of cleansing and stuff,
yes.
I said I did witchy stuff.
Oh,
I'm going to talk about that witchy stuff now.
Okay.
So I actually did something for Beltane, but it wasn't for Beltane. Mm-hmm. It just happened to be around Beltane.
Yes. Using the senses of that day.
Well, I did that break addiction spell, that banishing spell that I've talked about since the...
For how long?
Like, since we started this podcast. I finally did it. Yay! Applause! I finally did it. And... starts off with a funny story. And I really hope that I tell it right, because I was laughing so hard before I started the ritual. I'm like, this is great.
She teased this story just by saying, I can't wait to tell you this about this on the podcast, and I'm not talking about it until
because I want your reaction to be genuine.
Yes.
So if it is funny, it's a genuine funny.
Okay.
I just hope I tell it right. So, okay.
Yes.
So my altar's all set up, and I'm ready to do this. And I think it was late at night, so my dad was already in bed.
Yes.
And I get my incense stick. Or not my incense stick, my sage bundle. Mm-hmm. Incense stick. And, and I'm like, I'm going to just do my thing, cleanse the room. I'm going to cleanse all my utensils and whatever they're called, my tools. So I get my lighter.
Yes.
and I start lighting it, but I've had like the same sage bundle for like 5 or 6 years.
Yes.
It's like, no, probably like 10 years. I think it's probably the first one I ever bought. And you burn so little of it that it just takes forever to go through it.
And see, I go nuts when I do a cleansing. I get like these mini bundles and I burn the whole thing.
Really?
Like, yeah, I fill the apartment with smoke.
Wow. Now, okay, see, if I live by myself, I might do that way.
Oh yeah, but
this is part of the story. Okay, so I light the end of it, and it just gets smoking just enough, and I'm kind of wafting it around the room, and I'm like, and I start doing it around my tools and stuff, and I'm like, well, it's not really enough, so so first I'm like, I light it just a little bit more, and I think it's going pretty good, and I was like, okay, trying to ground myself before I start doing my tools again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm holding it right in front of me. Like, not out, but like right next to my side. And I'm just trying to, my eyes are closed. I'm like focusing on grounding and not realizing that the smoke is wafting up into my face.
Yeah.
So like I'm breathing deep and stuff. So I inhaled a whole bunch of that smoke and then just started coughing all over the place. Totally ruined my grounding there.
Oh.
So then I laughed about that. But then I'm like, okay, it almost immediately like started to go out. So I'm like, okay, I really need to get this thing burning.
Yeah.
So I got my lighter, And I started trying to burn the ends of it, but they're already pretty charred, so I'm not getting much out of it.
Yeah.
So then I turn it like sideways, like upward.
Yeah.
So that the flame is really going up into the bundle. And like it's really going up into the bundle. And I'm like, okay, here we go. We're getting some burning here.
Yeah.
And I pull the lighter away, and the smoke's just going. It's billowing smoke.
I love that.
And I'm like, okay, this is good. And so I start to move it around the room, and I realize, and then I'm like, okay, this is a lot of smoke. and I'm like, immediately, this is too much smoke. This is gonna set off the fire alarms. And Dad's gonna like run downstairs in his tidy whities or something and be like, "What's happening? The house is on fire! Get out! What are you doing, Lindsay? What's happening?" So I'm like, just like I'm the sitcom character, and I'm like wafting the air with my other hand. And I'm blowing through the air, and I'm like looking at the stage to practically saying, "Stop smoking!" And I'm like, I try like waving my hand over it, which of course only makes it worse. I'm like, "Duh, yeah. Lindsay." So I end up grabbing my chalice, which has water in it for the ritual, and then holding it over my cauldron and pouring the water from my chalice out to the sage bundle to put it out. And I'm like, just a little bit. You don't want it to go completely out, but it did end up going completely out. I get a little panicky. And I'm like, okay, this ritual is off to a really good start.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so that was the funny thing about it.
I loved it.
I ended up like lighting like 2 little leaves on the bundle after that were still dry, and then wafting them quickly over my tools and calling it good.
Ah.
Yeah. So, and then I started doing the ritual, and I had written down the things I had to say, and took some double-sided sticky things and put them against the wall.
Yeah.
So that I could take them on and off without ruining the wall. Mm-hmm. So I put these 2 big pieces of white paper with all the words on it on the wall. But I didn't realize, like I thought this is going to make it so much easier. I don't have to hold a book while I do it. But one of them was like what you have to say to call the quarters. And I don't have the directions memorized with their elements. Mm-hmm. And like the way I do it is like, I'll say like north, bring your element of, I don't know what north is. Air or something. Let's pick one. And then and then I say like, bring your element of blank along with its wisdom and strength or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's like 2 traits that go along with the element. Mm-hmm. Which is why I have to have it written down, because I don't memorize. It's a lot to memorize.
Yeah.
So it starts off okay because north is facing those papers, but then I immediately realize that once I get to south, my back is to the papers. So I'm pointing to south, but I'm turned around so I can see the paper and trying to quickly memorize the line, turn back and say it, but then I would forget what it was as I'm saying it and have to look back again. And I'm like, man, I look like such a noob.
Well, now you know for next time.
Yes, so this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to do that. We had talked about it months ago, about having a month where we just do every day for like 20 days or 30 days or whatever, do a circle. Just open a circle, close the circle. And so that way by the end of the month, you have it memorized what it is you say, so you don't have to use paper and stuff.
Sounds good.
So I think I'm going to do that this month.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
When are you starting?
Probably tomorrow.
Okay. Let's do it.
If you want to do it, then we'll do it together, and we'll talk about how we feel at the end of the month in the next podcast.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I feel like I'm weak at my casting circles. So.
Well, obviously I am. So no judgment here.
No judgment.
But it would be nice to have memorized to make it a lot easier, because when you have to memorize the ritual that you're going to do and call the quarters and set up your circle, it seems to be a lot that you have to remember.
Yes.
Even I'm like, wow, this turned out to be a really complicated and lengthy ritual. Mm-hmm. And I haven't done anything that big in forever.
Yeah.
Everything I've done has been very small and kind of winging it, and it works out. So I did the ritual, and I felt really good doing it. I enjoyed myself, and it was a lot of fun.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So.
Good.
I actually brought the spell with me so that we could share it.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to save it for later?
Sure, we can do it now. Okay.
So I'm just going to give you guys the idea behind it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, or maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just winging it. That's my thing. It's what I do.
Yeah.
So this spell actually came from spellsofmagic.com, which if you haven't been to, it's like an encyclopedia of every spell ever made, and it's like you have an index and you just kind of scroll to it. You scroll through it and you look for, I need banishing spells, you click that link and it gives you a whole list of different banishing spells you can try.
Nice.
And it's very well put together. So these are the things that you need for this breaking addiction spell. You need a black candle, a pinch of rue, pinch of yarrow, pinch of sand, pinch of salt, and a tumbled amethyst, a black satchel. You'll need a mortar and pestle, or a bowl and spoon. That works too. Awesome. And then you'll need bayberry incense. Oh. Now, before I go on with this ritual, I actually filmed a video of myself going over my altar for this, how I had it set up, and I talked about specifically what kind of salt and sand that I used, because I really tailored it to what I want to get out of this.
Yeah.
So I filmed that video, and by the time this podcast is up, that should also be on our YouTube channel. So if you want to see what my altar looks like, it's not a very long video. It's like under 5 minutes. So you can head over to Two Bad Pagans on YouTube and check that out.
Woo.
But to continue on with the spell. So basically you set up your altar along with, your guides. You get everything cast and all that stuff. And then you take up the candle after you've set up everything. And you're ready to start. So you take up your candle in your hand and you charge the black candle with banishing energy. And you say 9 times, which, yes, is a lot. Which is, yeah, okay. So anyways, yeah, it was a lot. So you say it 9 times, and this is what you say. Candle of the universe so black, banish my ill habits and send them back. This I wish, this I pray, tomorrow will be the start of a better day. And so, I'm holding my candle while saying this, and since you had to count 9 times, I would, raise up a finger every time I said it, so that way I knew exactly when I got to 9. So I was counting, otherwise I would have lost track and probably stopped after 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay, so then after you've charged the candle, you then place your herbs and your salt and your sand into your mortar and pestle. Now, for example, it says a pinch of yarrow and a pinch of rue and stuff. I really was not that specific about it. I just threw some in, probably more than than a pinch for sure, because I really wanted the bag to be full of this stuff.
Yeah.
So you put all of that into the pestle, the mortar, and whatever. Is the pestle the thing you grind with? Okay. Yeah. So just want to make sure I'm not sound like an ass.
I think so. I always get them confused.
Yeah. So you put all the stuff in the mortar, and then you start mixing it counterclockwise. And while you do that, you're supposed to be picturing more black energy, banishment, and all that stuff. And then you say another 9 times while you're continuing to do this. Counterclockwise. Did I say that, or did I say clockwise?
I think you said counterclockwise.
Just to be sure, counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Counterclockwise. So you say 9 times. Herbs here. Herbs herein hear my plea. Take my addictions away from me. Sand and salt ward these ills away. Help me make a better person this way. I banish that which is bad for me, and as I will it, so mote it be. Nice. So you say that 9 times. The only thing I think and you might even want to change this, the only thing I didn't like about that is it says, help me make a better person this way, which as I'm saying it, made me think of making a baby. So I'm like, I don't really want to be calling that, I'm making a better baby this way.
I'm making a baby.
So I know that's not what it meant, but that made me think of it while I was saying that. So that might be something you want to change. So after you've charged the herbs with this saying 9 times, then you take the candle and you light it, and you take the herbs that are in your mortar pestle and you put that inside your satchel, and then you add the amethyst, and then you hold it in your hand, and then you say your own prayer to whoever your god and goddess is, and then when you're done, you place that next to the candle, and leave it there next to the candle as it burns down.
Nice.
And it stays there. So I used a small black candle, so it was burned down in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So that was the banishing ritual that I used. So,
I like it.
Yeah.
What you guys were really missing from this description is anytime Lindsay had to motion something, she was doing it
I I know.
Like it was the real thing.
Yeah, I talk with my hands so much.
Like counting on her hands and like going with the border.
I have to say this with my words. You can't say it with your hands. They can't see you, Lindsay.
This is true.
So it was a pretty good experience, and I'm really glad that I did it.
I'm glad.
That's awesome. And then you're supposed to take that satchel too and carry that around with you. So if you feel temptation to break that or start doing that bad habit, like say smoking or eating bad food, you have that satchel with you, and you're supposed to inhale that satchel, like just breathe in the scents. And that is supposed to be like a reminder and make you stronger so that you don't give in to temptations.
I like it.
So, and then, like, okay, so I did that ritual, and then also I told you guys, like, a couple podcasts ago that I bought a pendulum.
Yes.
I finally used that.
Nice.
Yep, because the Kentucky Derby came up, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I didn't know what horse I wanted to put my money on, so I'm like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And, okay, this is like some fine print here. I thought that a pendulum was like a tarot cards, that a higher being, you know, your guardian angel or your god and goddess, whoever, is the one that is moving the pendulum. Yeah. So you can use it for scrying and knowing the future? No. No. It doesn't work that way. It's supposed to help you figure out what you already know. Yes. So it's like, I don't know if I want to have tacos or pizza. And then that's what you ask your pendulum, and it tells you if you feel like having pizza or tacos. Yes. Basically. And I'm like, I don't know when this would ever be useful for me. So then I tried doing the question, you know, who's going to win? So I wrote down all the horses' names on pieces of paper, and then I grabbed, instead of using altar cloth, I found some books that I read as a teenager about thoroughbred horses and racing. Oh. And I'm like, I'm going to use that over top of that and put the horses on there. Good. And then I asked, like, you know, is Nyquist going to win? And it was so not working for me. I went through several horses. I could not tell. I'm like, I even asked it, what is up? What is no? I tried telling it what up and no is. And it seemed like it only went the same direction every time, or it didn't move at all. So then I thought it's because I was asking the wrong question. So I changed my question to, who should I bet on? Yes. Didn't make a difference. I still couldn't. I'm like, I have a defunct pendulum, or this is just not going to work for me, because I couldn't get it to give me a clear answer on what I wanted to do. So I ended up putting money on a couple of horses, and I did win some money. Good. Yeah. So I lost more money than I won, but it works out either way for me. I feel like somewhere like the Charm Sisters are over there, like, you know, you cannot use your magic for personal gain. And like the pendulum is like, no! Cannot use me for betting. Then what the heck would you use magic for? Right. You can't use it for personal gain. Right. Because you're not supposed to use magic on other people. You gotta protect the innocent. I'm kidding. Oh. Every weekend, do a ritual for people who are hungry. Yeah. Anyway, I'll stop with my charmed references now. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so that's like the majority of the witchy stuff that I did. I was really proud of myself for doing that. And, that's awesome. I did get some witchy stuff in the mail, which was exciting. Oh, yeah? Yes, one of my subscribers bought me some stuff. They sent me a tarot deck, an oracle card, because my birthday was in April. Yes. And so they live in the UK, and they bought me some birthday presents, and they sent it over, and it had an oracle deck from Doreen Virtue, which is my favorite witchy person, my favorite person who makes oracle cards. Yeah. And it was a unicorn oracle deck. That's awesome. It was awesome, and it's so, so pretty. And unicorns are just like showing up in my life a lot lately. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I haven't used the deck yet for a reading because I don't have anything to ask quite yet. But I've had it out a lot and, you know, just held on to the cards, trying to put my energies into it. She also got me incense, some Egyptian incense. Which is pretty cool. That's awesome. Yeah, so I've had a very witchy couple of months here. Yeah, that's really great for you. Thank you. You're welcome. It's nice to have the tables turned. Right? Because I didn't do jack shit last month. Anything. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's the aromatherapy. I don't mean to get excited over your, like, lack of spirituality, Nick, but I kind of did. Hey, I kind of did. Hey, you know, I had a good couple month run. You did. And hopefully it won't be the end of it. No, God's no. I recognized that Beltane was there. I just don't know. I don't even know. I just don't know? Yeah.
I think I had to work, and this whole like last couple of weeks has been really weird for me. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. But I have been working with like the aromatherapy, and I've been like praying as I, putting the oil in the diffuser,
good.
and and I've been wearing a pentacle on a necklace.
Nice.
That I wear out to work and stuff, and that's a nice reminder. And I have a pentacle on my key ring now. So,
that's cute.
I know. I was like, just trying to
find ways, like everyday magic, just find ways to put just little bits of it in your life.
Yes, exactly so. So there's little elements like that are sprinkled around my life, but not like I didn't do a ritual for Beltane or anything like that.
Yeah. Do you know what the next holiday is?
I can Google it. Wheel of the Year. You should leave that in.
I'm going to.
Okay.
I was already editing it in my head.
Litha. But I can't read the date.
So we know that's coming up.
the end of June.
Usually you're like on top of this.
I know.
And you have your Scott Cunningham book ready, turned to the page so you can read what the next one is. And
yeah. Well, we just skipped right over Beltane because we're like, we'll talk about it on the next podcast.
We uploaded the podcast so late.
We did.
It's my fault. I waited an entire month to edit the April podcast, so it ended up going up in May. And we're still talking about Easter.
Yeah. Well, it was the March podcast, I think. Because we recorded it before Easter, and Easter was at the end of March.
I don't think it was before Easter, because we were talking about people screwing up the adults at Easter time that were messing up it, and I was complaining about plastic eggs and ranting a lot.
But it was before your birthday, because we hung out again on your birthday. On April 9th.
Maybe.
That's your birthday, right?
Yeah, that's my birthday.
I was like, yeah, maybe. Anyway, so the summer solstice is June 22nd. So, cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Midsummer.
This very quickly turned into the worst podcast we've ever done. I'm like, we have nothing else to talk about all of a sudden. I zipped. I've got all this witchy stuff to talk about, and I just zipped through it. Yeah. Super fast.
This is what happens when you come prepared.
Gosh, I'm too efficient.
And see, I was like, oh, Lindsay's got this show. I can just
hang back and let her talk for an hour.
Right?
Nope. No, you can't.
Okay. Gotta fill some content.
Yeah. So, what's going on with you?
Well, let me get my Scott Cunningham book. He just calls it Midsummer.
It's way easier to say than Litha. Mm-hmm. Lithia?
Litha?
Litha?
I don't know. Someone write us and tell us how that should be pronounced. Half of the pagan holidays, I'm like, I don't.
And then you say it out loud and you just feel stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're reading from Scott Cunningham's Book of Shadows, the history of Midsummer, or Litha, the summer solstice circa June 21st. Arrives when the powers of nature reach their highest point. The earth is awash in the fertility of the goddess and god. In the past, bonfires were left to encourage fertility, purification, health, and love. The fire once again represents the sun, fetid at this time of the longest daylight hours. It is a classic time for magic of all kinds.
So we'll have to start doing our getting mentally prepared for those rituals.
Right? Mm-hmm. Sounds like some powerful stuff we can do.
Yeah, I have no idea what I would do, but I'm going to try and do something.
Me too.
Because I'm a bad pagan.
Bad!
Mm-hmm. I do stuff.
I do stuff. That should be like our tagline. Two bad pagans.
We do stuff. Oh my god. That's amazing.
So generic. It's perfect.
We're making fun of ourselves though. We're modern pagans.
Right? I mean, you have to come at life with a bit of levity and, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to laugh at yourself.
We're like what don't they call them, like keyboard pagans or something like that? People who are pagans, but they are only pagans online. They don't actually do in their real life. We're just like 2 steps above them.
Why? Why do it have to be levels? Why can't we just all be, you know?
That was actually I think I sent you an article about something like that.
Possibly.
It was like competition in the pagan world, like, you know, you don't have to be a better pagan than me, or I don't have to be a better pagan than you, or something like that. And I agree with that sentiment. I think we're all going to be in different levels, and some people are going to want to live in Salem and walk around and with black eyeliner and wearing the full witchy ceremonial outfit all the time, and that's great, and part of me is jealous of them sometimes.
Yes.
But for a lot of people, that's so not going to work out.
Yes. And I don't know. Like, and you find, like, you can find a podcast for very, like, quote unquote serious paganism and like, you know, but that's, you know, we're just 2 people trying to find our path, you know,
trying to do stuff with it.
Yeah. And instead of like trying to, now we do stuff. So
yeah, it only took us a couple years.
Hey, at least it happened. You know?
It's very true.
It's very true.
This is, you know, I think podcasts to me are a very important part of my practice.
Yeah.
Because there are so many pagans that do podcasts, and I like listening to so many of them. And it's about the only connection besides you that I have to any other pagans of any kind. So it's nice to hear other people talking about it. Yeah. And it gets me excited and makes me want to do stuff like that. And that's why we started our podcast, so we can have a reason to talk about it all the time.
Yeah, exactly so. And I don't know, it just helps you feel like part of the community that you don't always have, you know? Yeah. By having a, like, particularly formed religion where you go to church and all that jazz.
Right, exactly. And it's a certain places that's a lot harder to find.
Yes. Especially in this corner of the world.
Yeah, and you really got to put yourself out there to find that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are like websites you could do that, but I don't know.
One of the Facebook pages I follow shared a pagan dating website. Oh. I clicked on it and was not terribly impressed. Aw. It wasn't like as sleek and nice as something like eHarmony. So, which I guess I wouldn't expect it to be, but it just kind of seemed like this could be a scam for all I know. And they're just trying to get all my information.
So they can send you pagan crate in the mail. Yeah. Or something, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah.
We had a little flow for a second.
We did.
We did.
Anyway. So, Midsummer's coming up. We're going to come up with things.
You know what's funny about that?
Yes.
That we're talking about that now is because it's not till you said June 20th.
Yeah, 21st or 22nd.
So we'll probably have another podcast before then.
So?
Just saying.
Yeah.
We're doing all this talk about it like way in advance.
Well, someone was like, you know, all up on their game and did something for the last one.
I know.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you.
I even have topics I know what we're going to talk about next month.
We do. Next month is going to be super exciting. We were like, oh yeah, we should do all this stuff in one jam-packed show. And then we're like, oh, we've got enough stuff to talk about. Well,
yes, that. Well, what we're going to talk about is American heritage. And just basically how you can take what American heritage is and our culture and what it used to be, and then using that, incorporating that into your spell magic and all that stuff. Which I'll explain more of that next month. Yeah. We were going to do it this month, but I wanted to do more research to come up with more ideas and different ways you can incorporate it into your rituals and your spells and that sort of thing. But I've been so focused on finishing The Beauty, my next book, that I'm like, I really don't want to take time away from my editing to do research for this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's hard to try and find a balance. I'm like, let's put it off for another month. We'll talk about it in June. And that way I have time to, focus on finishing this book. And then at some point I will be able to sit down and just do research. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
It does.
So you'll have to tune in next month to hear more about that.
Yes. We'll be back. True story. All right. Where can people reach you on the internet?
Well, you can find me on my daily vlog. I'll forewarn you though, it hasn't been so daily lately because I just haven't been doing a lot. I've just been kind of hanging out at home and editing. So all of a sudden the day is over and I'm like, this is just going to be a crappy vlog, so that I haven't been uploading anything. But that'll probably change here pretty soon because I'm like, I love my daily vlog and I want to put that out there. I love tracking my life and looking back on things a few years from now. So you can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/Lindsay Mead Daily Vlog. Or you can just search Lindsay Mead on YouTube and you will find me.
That's true.
I do have 2 YouTube channels. One is a daily vlog and the other one is just, I call it my author channel. I just post mostly random videos on there, usually book related. Mm-hmm. So soon I'll be putting my most memorable moments video up on there where I talk about all the things I got to accomplish this last year.
Yeah.
I also have a kind of a live Q&A that I did where I went into a high school and I talked with a whole bunch of students who read my book and I answered all their questions. Mm-hmm. So, I wouldn't recommend watching it unless you read the book because it's got a lot of spoilers in it.
Yes.
But you could go buy my book and then watch the live Q&A.
It's super, super awesome.
It was awesome. The kids were really great. They were totally into the book and really, I felt like a little bit of a celebrity at that moment. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, you kind of were.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I was very nervous though. Mm-hmm. But I apparently held myself together pretty well. Yeah. You couldn't really tell. According to my mom.
It's true.
So, you can watch my YouTube channel. You can buy my book. I recommend that you buy my book. But I'm also on Twitter and Facebook. And I love getting messages from people who listen to the podcast. And yeah, so definitely reach out to me there and stuff.
Yes, totally.
What about you?
You can find me on YouTube as well. My channel name is called Just Elevator Music, or you can just search Nicholas and Just Elevator Music, or Nicholas Weekly Vlog, or any number of things on YouTube, and you'll find me. Mm-hmm. You can go to twobadpagans.blogspot.com, and there will be my links on the side of the page. My blog and stuff are really lengthy. Anyway, you can also email us at twobadpaganspodcast@gmail.com, and I check that every day. So
awesome.
If you have inquiries not necessarily related to the show, or just want to say hi, or give us listener feedback, or mail, or suggest a topic, feel free to email us there. And if it's Lindsay relevant, I will forward it on.
Yes, it's true. You do. We do a pretty good job about sharing any messages and stuff we get with each other.
It's true.
Yeah.
We love hearing from you guys.
We do. And real sorry that this podcast was super short.
Yeah.
That was totally unintended.
Hey, you know what? Some days we go over and some days we go short. And, just try to find the Goldilocks zone.
We'll work on it. I'm just proud that I did something and I was able to talk about it. I just wish I hadn't talked about it so fast.
Yes. Yeah. Well, now we know. For future
talk slower.
Talk slower, Lindsay.
Slow down.
Slow
you
down.
Have to make a little cue card that says slow down. You'll have to hold it up whenever I start just going.
Yeah. Let the listeners process this. Just slow down.
Just slow down.
We're so excited.
We were excited. We love doing the podcast.
We do. Anyway, guys.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much. I was going to say goodbye, but you interrupted me.
I'm sorry. It was funny. We're just so awkward today.
I think I've been trying to figure out what's going on, and I think we're both trying not to cough, and it's just making us have a weird.
It's disrupting our flow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
thank you guys so much for listening.
Yes. Blessed be, guys.
Love and light.